Banjo-Kazooie, nothing makes my heart happier than getting to play as these two again, coming fall in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I mean, it's not a new game, but hey, it's something. And the next game in the series is most certainly a possibility now. So to celebrate the happy return, I decided that this week's episode of the best Mario Maker 2 levels will be about Banjo-Kazooie. And for next week we will look at the best Undertale levels in Mario Maker 2. So if you've made an amazing level or know one that I shouldn't miss, let me know in the comments. So with that being said, we can jump straight into the juicy bits. Let's begin with number 5. And we are going to start with our first level by Sin from the United States. And this is of course Spiral Mountain from Banjo-Kazooie. When you play a Banjo-Kazooie game, you are always going to start in Spiral Mountain. You start with it in Banjo-Kazooie, and Banjo-Tooie, and yes, of course also in Nuts and Bolts. Here we have Bottles, our good mole friend that teaches us all kinds of different moves. You don't have to do that. When you play the game on your first playthrough, then you get to learn your moves by Bottles, but you can also choose to not learn them from him and just have them right from the get-go. So if you play this game multiple times, it's way easier and way quicker to just choose for getting all your moves. And that were a couple of enemies. That's the way that Bottles teach you these moves. And the goal in this level is to collect all 100 coins. And that's of course very reminiscent of Banjo-Kazooie, because in Banjo-Kazooie you can collect 100 music notes in each level. The funny thing of course is that you don't really actually have music notes in Spiral Mountain, because Spiral Mountain isn't really a level, it's more of a tutorial area to learn your first moves and to see how the game works. But after that you go into the big overworld in Gruntilda's lair, where we'll see a little bit of next. But there you can collect 100 notes, not here. But still, it's very funny that they did it as the goal. Very cool, and I collected all 100 right here. And what do we have here? Gruntilda's big old mean face, which you have to enter to get into the overworld. And do you remember what we got when we first entered Gruntilda's lair? Yes, of course, you get your first Jiggy piece. So I'm gonna do a little dance here. Duh! Because that's what you do when you get your first Jiggy. And then you can enter your first level because you need your Jiggies to open worlds. And that's of course Mumbos Mountain. One very fun level from the game. But that's unfortunately where this level ends from Sin. We just have to cross the bridge over here. And then we're at the end. Sin, very well done. Very cool. A lot of other bits and pieces from the Banjo-Kazooie universe in this level. But very cool Spiral Mountain. And yes, for our second stage we have Mumbos Mountain by Sora Botics. Also an amazing level from Banjo-Kazooie. It's the very first level from Banjo-Kazooie, and that's what we're going to explore here. This of course symbolizes the bull that you see at the beginning that you can't kill. And you also can't kill it in this game, so that's very nicely done. And here we have our first boss battle with Conga, the great gorilla ape monkey boy that throws oranges at you. But we don't have oranges in Super Mario Maker, so we just have homing missiles. Which are almost the same of course. Cat missiles that follow you around. And with that, Conga is dead. And we're going to continue in Mumbos Mountain. A bit of platforming here, just like in the real level. A bit of enemy killing, also just like in the real level. And we're continuing on to one of the most prominent places in Mumbos Mountain, the Ant Hill. Yes, yes. Before we go into there, we need to transform, of course. And there we have Mumbo himself, doing a little jig in Mumbo's hut. And when we go on top, we can also see the feathers from his head. Really reminiscent of Mumbo, of course. And with this P, we can jump on it, and we can go inside the ant hill. In the original game, of course, you have to transform into an ant to get in there. But you can't transform into an ant in Mario Maker. Unfortunately, I would love to see that, but that's a thing that we can do. And with that, we're moving on. Oh, trying to get into this pipe here. And there we go, up the hill on the back of Kazooie. And these are the little huts that you can find that you jump onto and find all sorts of goodies like eggs. Ah! Well, that's unfortunate. But don't be sad, because we can continue on straight away. As I was saying, the little huts had some cool extras in them, like no, not feathers, because those are unlockable only in later levels, but eggs, some notes, some other cool stuff. And that's what Sora Buttix did right here. So very cool, Sora. I can see what you did. A little bit more. Because we have to collect the keys to move on. And the last one. Oh, there we go. That's 4. Going down the hill. Whippy! And in. So yeah, you can clearly see Mumbos Mountain in here. That's why I love it so much. And of course, I missed the flag. Up we go. And there we are. Sora Buttix, thank you so much. An amazing level. Very well done. And just like last time, level 3 is a music level. Unfortunately, I don't know how to read Japanese, so I don't know what the username is or the level, but here's some music for you. That was an awesome Banjo-Kazooie medley. Even some Banjo-Tooie stuff in there. Very nicely done. Thank you very much. Once again, I don't know how to read Japanese, so I'm sorry for that. And we're gonna continue with Treasure Trove Cove by Lanky Lou, which is the second level of Banjo-Kazooie, of course. So this is almost like a little story right here. And we're gonna start straight away. The goal in this level is to collect 7 big coins, which will give you 10 coins, which is to represent the Jiggies in the game. And as you know, in Banjo-Kazooie you can collect 10 Jiggies in every stage, but here you can collect 7, because you don't need all of them. And here we have Captain Blubber's ship, where you have multiple Jiggies. You can get one by getting him his treasure back, and you can also learn how to fly on top of the ship, which we will see even more of later. And we also saw Snacker just there in the beginning. We will see more of him later. And you can do a little bit of platforming here. Yeah, Treasure Trove Cove is an awesome level. The music is amazing, which is with almost all the music in Banjo-Kazooie, of course, which is thanks to Grant Kirkhope, who makes amazing, amazing music. Love also the track from Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, but Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie has to be his highlights. Especially if you grew up with it. And this stage is a lot of puzzling, a lot of exploring. You can do it in any way that you like. It's still pretty linear, but you can go where you want. If you miss the coin, that's not a big problem. You also have 10 and you need 7, so... And here we have Bottles again as the mole. So that's pretty lucky for Banjo-Kazooie fans that we can put moles into Mario Maker 2. So we can represent Bottles. And here he taught us how to use the jumping platforms, which will also be a part of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, as we saw in the Banjo-Kazooie trailer. That will probably give you some more height to do some more awesome attacks with them. Can't wait for them to be released. And here we have the pink coins, which you have to collect 5 of. And I saw this in multiple Banjo-Kazooie levels, because the coins will represent the Jinjos, of course. Because if you collect 5 Jinjos, you will get a Jiggy piece. And here once again, if you collect 5 coins, pink coins, you will get a bigger coin. I speeded up a little bit right here because I was being a bit slow with the leaf. What you see here is the treasure chest. Do you see the spiky things? These are the treasure chests that bite down on you. So even where the Jiggies, or the coins in this case, are placed, are all really almost in the same vein as they are in Treasure Trove Cove. And like I said, what did we learn on the ship? It was that we learned how to fly. So also here we're gonna do some flying to get some more coins, which is also exactly the same as the level. Amazing, just amazing. And we saw the treasure chest with the teeth, and here we have one again. Because as you might remember, the first thing that you do when you learn how to fly is there is one Jiggy piece hidden into a chest, which can bite down on you. So it's the trick to keep on flying and get the Jiggy piece at the same time, which they did exactly the same here. So that's fucking amazing. I won't collect all the Jiggies in this stage, so if you want to explore it for yourself, then you can do that. And this is of course the top of the level with the lighthouse. where we will also get a Jiggy piece. Here we have Snacker again, who isn't a big shark, but just a cheap sheep. A big cheap sheep, nonetheless. And after this we're gonna get to one of my favorite parts. It probably is one of my favorite parts in the main game as well. It's a little boss battle that we're going to do, which also has some pretty great dialogue. And I always forget the guy's name. Is it Clipper? Is it Snipper? Something like that. It's a huge hermit crab inside his shell. And when you defeat him, you can go inside his shell to get another Jiggy piece, which again is exactly the same here, so very nicely done. A couple of crabs roaming around, which are turtles in this case. Going over the shell. And through the pipe! We could get one more Jiggy piece here, but we won't, so thank you, Lanky Lou, very nicely done, amazing stage. Which brings us to the last level of this video, Freezeezy Peak by Calvin ! From the United States, which is also an amazing level. But come on, every level in Banjo-Kazooie is amazing, and we're gonna start here with Buggy and his 3 children, who are all happily reunited, which you have to do in the game, of course. Gonna jump over the igloo, slide down, and here is Buggy again, wasted on the floor, crying. And that brings us to our main attraction of the stage, the snowman in the middle, of course, huge thing. With the carrot for its nose, and does it move? Yes, of course it moves, because it's a carrot. We got a little one up here, chasing it down. There we go. We're gonna release our cloudy windy boy to jump over the piranha plants, to don't get hit. So he's gonna help us climb the Christmas tree right here. And there we go. No, okay, I messed up. Okay, we have to wait. Oh boy, this is gonna... Oh boy. Now we're stuck here. Oh, no, there he is. There we go. No problem. Up we go. And there we are. And on top of the Christmas tree, we can of course find the shining star that you have to light up to get a Jiggy once again. Because that's what it's all about, right? Getting Jiggies. A little house over here. And we're going down the pipe. Gonna grab a couple of music notes, and we have some more houses here. But yeah, this is an amazing level in the game. You have the snowman that throws snowballs at you. You have you can transform into a walrus, which we will do in some way, not exactly, but you will see something like that. Because of course you have to go through the ice with the walrus, because Banjo and Kazooie will get hurt because it's way too cold. And once again we have Mumbo's hut over here, but we're not going inside yet. I want to show something else first here, which is through this pipe. We're gonna see a little friend of ours that everybody's loves. It's Wazza, the walrus. And you can also see the ice key over there, which was a part of Stop and Swap in Banjo-Kazooie. You couldn't reach it, just like here. And it was made to connect Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie together, but it didn't really work in the end. They did some stuff with it in the Xbox version later on, but still nothing great. But it was a really cool concept, and you should look it up if you have the time. So we're going into Mumbo's hut right here. There he is, just chilling. I love how everybody interprets Mumbo differently in the Mario Maker. Because we saw, of course, the dry bones. And we saw here just a skull hanging around. Nothing too crazy. And now we gotta go down. And this is initially our transformation. Now we're a walrus. Of course, we have the shell. Try to die here. Because with the shell, we can cross areas that we're not supposed to. The same thing with the walrus, so that's very nicely done. A huge Jiggy piece with a lot of coins as a thank you, as a reward, and that brings us to the end. What an amazing level once again, the top of the list. I love it. And guys, remember, if you have an Undertale level, drop that ID in the comments. Cue the outro! Thank you so much for watching. My name is XPrep, and if you like Mario Maker 2 and Nintendo in general, please subscribe to the channel because there is a lot more awesome stuff to be found. You can also check out one of my other videos on screen right now, and I hope to see you next time.